Hello and welcome to the second part of the May vlog, also formerly known as In and Out video. But I have just vlogged too much this month, and so I decided to split it up. Let me know what you think about that. I hope you enjoy the extra content and not just me talking a few minutes about how the month went, but actually seeing it. And here is something I've talked about in the first part. It's a sweater that I fixed because the seam was kind of breaking, and I thought I'd make something fun and a little bit colorful out of it. Yeah, happy to have a working sweater again, and maybe we're gonna go to the lake in a few minutes. I love my evenings at the lake, but honestly, I think I talked about it before in my travel vlog in Morocco, but sometimes I have a bit of a hard time being in the moment. And then there's this fear that I'm doing all of these things, I'm even making an effort recording it for you, and I'm gonna forget about it, or I can't remember the feeling and preserve it in my memories. But I think on one hand, maybe it doesn't matter, and on the other hand, it's not true, because for Morocco, I definitely remember very well how great the desert was, and so I'm pretty sure from my many trips to the lakes, I'm gonna remember too, and it will always have been worth it. Today I finished another book. Maybe it's gonna be sharp, let's see. It's this one called Der Tag, an dem ich sterben sollte, wie der Terror in Hanau mein Leben für immer verändert hat, which means the day I should have died, how the terrorism in Hanau changed my life forever. And this is the author, Said Etris Hashemi's story of how he survived this terrorism attack. And it was really interesting, of course also depressing and infuriating, because it's so unfair and there's just so much racism, not just in this thing that happened, but also, as I said, in the continuing years where no one wanted to acknowledge their mistakes and what needed or needs to change in order for us to prevent things like these from happening again. And so yeah, not a fun read, but an important one. I can highly recommend it if you speak German. Hello. I did want to talk about the books I've been reading, because it's been 3 already, and it's just been the past few days where I read them. They're not many pages. Or a graphic novel. This one is Im Spiegelsaal by Liv Strömquist. It's a graphic novel, and it's about, about self-love, how we see ourselves, trying to be beautiful, trying to be perceived beautiful by men, feminism and social media and our patriarchal society, and how it's just kind of impossible as a woman to be unbothered and live an easy life. Maybe. It's interesting, it's really interesting, as all of her books, and I can highly recommend it to you. It's available in English and Swedish and German and I don't know which other languages. This one is the first book I'm reading, it's just too bright, that I got from the secondhand book sale. It's Heartburn by Nora, Ephron, and it's just cute. So I picked it up because of that and because of the blurb, and I did like it. It's kind of just very much so everyday. It's the story of a woman and her life falls apart and her thoughts, and it's kind of funny. And on one hand, as I said, it's very everyday, and then on the other hand, it's the big life questions as well. And I just really enjoyed reading it, and there are recipes in here, which is also just it's written in well, and she has a good persona. This protagonist is just a really nice character that's enjoyable to read, I think. And then now I got this from a co-worker. She lent it to me, and I'm almost done reading it. It's just a last few pages, so I'm going to talk about it now. It's Dramaqueen by Tara-Louise Wttwer, and it's German, so maybe this is not available in English, but I thought it's really interesting. It's about misogyny, I think. This would sum it up. It's about how, as women, you sometimes hate women internally, like you don't really get it, but because you're annoyed, because you think like, oh, this and that, and I'm not like other girls, pick-me girl stuff, but also then being a pick-me girl as soon as you're, all of these things, and it kind of is similar to this one, and also kind of similar to this one, because they're all talking about women and how to navigate life as a woman, how to live as maybe freely and independently and make your own choices as possible. And this is just how a lot more about the how society hates women and how that makes our lives hard and kind of impossible to have a childhood and teenage time where we would be just free of worries and contradicting stuff we should always live up to and can't ever. And it's really interesting. I can highly recommend it. I really liked it. It's kind of easy to read, but that's really nice for a topic like that in general also, but especially maybe. And so I can highly recommend it. Dramaqueen by Tara-Louise Wttwer. That's it for today. I know I have to soon go to work because there's a lot going on and I don't have time to go to the forest or to the lake right now, but there will be time again.
As you see, I made it to the lake. It's a few days later. I'm a bit exhausted between work days, but I still thought I'd take the time I have to go to the lake. I don't talk about it much, but I sometimes work night shifts in my social work job. And then last night, a friend wasn't feeling well and I told her she can call. And then we had this lovely just phone call for like almost 2 hours, I think, in the middle of the night. And this just makes me so grateful because, as you know, I've been trying to kind of work on friendships for the past 3 years maybe. And of course there could still be more, like I want to be closer with people and have more deeper connections and relationships and more memories together and everything, but I'm at a really, really good place with that and I'm really happy about it. You maybe haven't seen me wearing the sweater. That's because it's not really a sweater I think is part of my wardrobe, because it's the extra sweater I keep at work, and then last night I had to use it. And then I thought instead of just throwing it in the wash, I'm gonna wear it a few more days and I'm gonna like bring it back to my workplace and keep it there as an extra sweater, as a change of clothes. But now I think let's go swimming. Like, if you ask me why I go swimming, I would say for my mental health, and just because I love doing it, because like the cold exposure releases dopamine. That's like the explanation, the scientific explanation, but it makes me happy. And there were so many beautiful shades of green and blue and the stillness. Simultaneously, of course, like the little noises that the water makes when I swim in it, and the solitude, and not being able to distract myself with anything, but just being in the moment. It's honestly beautiful. And I think like my life is better when I go swimming. Or it doesn't have to be swimming, but it has to be like going into nature, and the more I can like experience it with my whole body, the more power it has. And I think swim is perfect for that. But I'm a little cold now. I think I went swimming for, 15 minutes or so, and the water is still not really warm. So let's get dressed, I guess.
so I finally have a bit more time again, and I'm supposed to like upload a video today, and I need to record it first, and I don't know what to do, so I'm procrastinating. I'm feeling bad. I don't know, you know, hormones could be part of it, and a general kind of identity crisis when it comes to this YouTube channel and my self-employed business. But I'm going to talk more about that in another video, I think. But I wanted to share another book I have finished. This is called Such a Fun Age by Kiley, Reid. And I loved it. Honestly, it was such a good book. I thought the characters were so well developed, and it was just really interesting seeing their perspectives. It's like not really a book about racism, but racism really does play a role, and I think it's kind of like a sort of racism that isn't talked about enough, where it was just really interesting and good and helpful to read. And the characters, they're adorable. Some characters are adorable, some are infuriating. But I can highly recommend this book. And yeah, I'm gonna, leave the links, not really the links, but the titles of all the books down below. So check it out if you want.
So we went on a spontaneous hike, and I got another chance to swim in a cold river, and it was fun. Overall, I just think I love playing with water and nature in general. So it's not even about like the exercise or counting the times I go swimming, but also about play and fun and trying out new things and just new experiences. Who would have thought?
As you saw, we went hiking yesterday, and unfortunately I somehow got back pain. I don't know why, but my back hurts, and I hope it's going to be over soon. But I finished the book yesterday, I think. Yeah. And I want to talk about it. It's Die Wut, die bleibt by Mareike Fallwickl, which means maybe the rage that stays, or yeah, something like that. And it's like there are several women as protagonists, and they share a part of their life story throughout the first pandemic years. And I think it's very interesting because there are not a lot of books that feature the pandemic the way it has actually felt for me and for many people here in Europe, I think. And so that's really interesting. And it also talks a lot about like feminism, care work, families, love, and just how to organize relationships and how to make a life that is worth living, how to kind of fight the patriarchy while still acknowledging all the relationships that we have, and how we want to be there for others. I can highly recommend this book if you speak German. I liked it a lot, and I think we can talk about this a lot. And now I'm gonna try to make a book. My journal is full, and so I need a new one. And I thought I want to try make my own, but I have no idea how it's going to turn out, so we will see. I am done with my journal. And I did make some mistakes. Not everything went completely according to plan, but in general, I think it went really well. I'm really happy how it turned out, and I'm also really happy that I could make this journal out of stuff we had at home. From this red thing is from my time in like middle school, and the paper was just like printer paper, but we decluttered our printer recently, and even the thread and the needles and the glue, it's all stuff we had at home that we need to repurchase at some point, of course. But I thought I'd first make it with stuff I have, and I'd like to kind of source decluttered paper from like paper companies and bookbinders to make like actually like beautiful books at some point. But for now, I'm gonna try to write in this and use it and see if I like it, and then maybe make more books at some point. But it was fun. It was fun to try out, and it worked pretty well. And I think it took me about an hour, maybe a little bit more. And I love YouTube for that, because the only resources I had were YouTube videos. Free, great people explaining how to bind books.
Hello from the forest. I hope the audio is okay. The colors look terrible actually here, but it's raining. I came here because of my back pain, because I know it's better to wow, it's loud here. It's better to keep moving instead of just like laying in bed and hoping it will get better. And on the other hand, I just think the world is worth seeing even when it rains. Sounds really cheesy, I know, but I really believe that, and so I'm here even though it's raining. But it's honestly, it's a different kind of beauty. So let's check it out a bit. It's a few days later and I'm back in the forest. It's still wet actually. There's one more thing I wanted to talk about, and it's a thought that has been kind of brewing in me for the past few months, and it's about my alcohol consumption. I have not had an alcoholic beverage this year so far, and I think I'm just at a point where I really want to make the decision to be sober. There are just not many reasons anymore for me to think like drinking alcohol is a good idea at all. Balance is worth pursuing for many things. But mostly it's actually easier to be off balance, to make like one decision. Like no matter if it's with like plastic consumption, meat consumption, I don't know. Am I the person who does X? Am I the person who does Y? Or I'm never gonna do this again, things like these. And I think I'm not losing anything, but I might make my life healthier, easier and better by deciding that I'm not ever gonna drink alcohol again. Well, there would not be any very harmful consequences if I decided to drink again. But then also there would not really be any positive things coming out of it. So I guess I just keep you updated. But it's a thought, like it's something that most of us, also in Germany, is just very normalized. Don't really think about, like unless you have a real problem with alcohol, you're like just, of course I'm going to continue drinking alcohol, but then you don't have to. It's something worth thinking about. So yeah, this is the end of the video. I'm going to link you another video here that I hope you will check out. And other than that, I recommend you check out Patreon, where you can get an extra podcast episode every single week. So maybe I'll see you over there, and or in this video or in my next one. Goodbye.